Welcome to Agenda Edina, a news program summarizing the actions taken at City Hall that affect you most. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty. The City of Edina is celebrating a decision by the Federal Aviation Administration. The Metropolitan Airports Commission, or MAC, received a letter in late February from the FAA indicating that they will not, at this time, implement certain departure routes at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport that were of concern to many Edina residents. RNAV technology is being implemented across the country, enabling aircraft to consistently fly specific routes, enhancing safety and efficiency while reducing fuel burn and emissions. RNAV is a key part of the federal Next Gen program for addressing congestion and improving safety and efficiency in the national airspace. In September 2012, the FAA proposed a plan to implement RNAV procedures on all runways at MSP. MAC board members heard from many area residents concerned about potential noise impacts under the proposed departure routes. The board voted to support only partial implementation of the FAA plan, withholding support for RNAV departures off runways 30L and 30R over the heavily populated areas north and west of MSP, such as Edina.
The FAA decided to fast-track the process, and Edina didn't have the opportunity really to learn or know about it because we didn't have a seat at the table. We were not part of the Noise Oversight Committee. We didn't have representation, so it came on very quickly.
The FAA is concerned that implementing RNAV departures on some runways and not others could create unacceptable safety risks. Therefore, the FAA will not implement RNAV departures from any runways at MSP right now. The FAA will, however, move forward with the approved RNAV arrival procedures on a timeline still to be determined. Currently, arriving aircraft perform a step descent, reducing altitude and plateauing a number of times before landing. Staying higher longer with the engines at an idle setting reduces noise impacts and emissions. MAC has recommended to the FAA that any future effort by the FAA to implement RNAV departures at MSP involve a robust FAA outreach program to affected communities, early coordination with community leaders, investment of adequate resources to address local expectations, and authorization for local air traffic control representatives to lead resource allocation and community outreach efforts. The city is doing what it can to support a $500 million redevelopment in southeast Edina. The Pentagon Park Office Park, consisting of 15 multi-tenant office buildings, was built in the late 1960s. For several decades, it was well positioned in the marketplace and had much success. However, in the past decade, its dated layout and aging infrastructure has made it considerably less desirable. Since 2004, the assessed valuation of the Pentagon Park properties has declined by 60%. The vacancy rate of some of the buildings far exceeds that of the marketplace. Nearly every building requires significant repair after several years of deferred maintenance. The area is in need of redevelopment so that these trends are reversed. The new owner envisions a complete transformation of the private properties in the future. While no specific design has been decided upon at this time, the future land use will include a mixture of uses and will likely require significant improvements in the public infrastructure.
I think the benefit of the project is it's the ability to take 42 acres of property that candidly is a little blighted right now and hasn't seen its better day. It's been a couple of decades since it's been in that position, and turn it into its best uses, which from our perspective are going to be commercial uses, it's going to be office uses, some retail, likely a hotel, and possibly some residential uses. And we think that it's a fantastic location, it's a marvelous city. It's needed at this point some attention, it's needed some love, it's needed someone that would invest into it and believe that the highest and best future is ahead of it, not behind it.
In February, the City Council established a new tax increment financing district that would allow the city to consider a public-private partnership in the future so that the full potential of this important business mixed-use district can be realized.
With the proposed massive redevelopment that's anticipated over the next decade or two, there'll be the need for much and many public improvements, new roads, new sewers, new stormwater detention ponds, lots of new infrastructure that benefits the project, but also the greater community. Using tax increment financing is really one of the few tools that's available to the city to help make those improvements viable.
The redevelopment is expected to occur in phases over a period of about 15 years. Thanks for watching this episode of Agenda Edina. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty.